Okay, here we go. All right, this is the video. The first cross versus battle. This is Naruto versus Luffy. But the way I'm doing it is, all 11 attributes, right? Who's better at each attribute? I'll let you know who's better, who wins when it comes to each. But I also have another attribute or factor because this is a cross versus battle, right? So we'll have two scenarios. One where they're at one place and then the other place, you know, the one character's verse and then the other character's verse, and that may play into who wins or not. It probably will because it's an 11th attribute, or it's just another way of making it not come out to a tie. Because I make sure these characters are like not equal in power, but it gives a good fight, good matchup. So this is Naruto Three Tails. Like that was in the forest after Gaara got the tail beast taken out of him, and now Luffy is fighting with the Akatsuki. Not with the Akatsuki. He's like on their team, and he's trying to like take Gaara from Naruto. That's the scenario, right? And they're in the forest of Naruto. So strength-wise, Naruto has the strength because he's fighting for Gaara. He's trying to protect Gaara. He's trying to stand on protecting his friends. I have a friend that needs help. I'm gonna protect him. That's where he's at, and Naruto has more strength in that situation. Speed though, that goes to Luffy. Luffy has second gear. He can get behind Naruto quick. Um, the second gear speed is ridiculous. Um, it just is. And then endurance, you should see the CP-9 arc, and because that's the type of Luffy he's going up against. He's going against Luffy from CP-9, and he's lobby. So cool. The endurance is the endurance is that Luffy wins the endurance battle too. He takes care of shit. Naruto can't keep that form forever. Luffy can outlast him in that form. It's what I see. Um, Luffy can hang into gear second longer than Naruto can hang into tail beast form. Because if you remember it correctly, every time Naruto goes into Nine Tails mode, he does only have that form for a short amount of time when his power is not controlled, and it's not controlled when he's in Three Tail form. So the durability though still goes to Naruto. Naruto still gets the durability edge in this scenario. The Kurama cloak does help him keep a barrier. It's like kind of an armor for Naruto. So Naruto wins there, but the intelligence goes to Luffy. His mind in this, I almost thought that Naruto was smart in that form, but he's not. His mind's getting ate away by Kurama. Kurama's slowly taking control of Naruto's mind. So Naruto's not as, he ain't making the best judgments as a ninja in that form. He's letting that animal take control. Um, so Luffy has an upper hand because Luffy is more, he sees what's going on in the fight and everything else. He's gonna make sure he don't get fucked up, and he still gets to who he needs to. He needs to get to Gar, so he's gonna make sure he gets there. Um, he's smarter in that situation. Um, the experience goes to Luffy. I know that Luffy had more wins up until that point, so Luffy went against a whole bunch of people to get to CP9. Naruto went against a whole lot of people too to get to where he was in the forest after Gaara got taken and shit too, right? He trained with Jiraiya for 2 years and other things, but before that he was taking a lot of L's. Naruto was. Um, he took some wins too, but Luffy only took 2 L's to Crocodile previously before attaining that form, the CP9 form, or that timing he's on. So skills, close skills, that goes to Luffy. Luffy has hands and shit. He always uses his hands to fight. He's a hands fighter. Naruto, on the other hand, has range skills. He can shoot chakra blast. He has air gust that he uses. Kurama's arms start to stretch out from Naruto in that form. He also has better regenerative abilities, Recupe, than Luffy does. Any scratches or scars Naruto may accumulate in the fight, he'll be healed up with that cloak. That cloak heals him up. And then the hacks go to Naruto because he has Kurama backing him. And then he also has the Rasengans if he's, smart enough to make those judgments in that form. Um, and then, but the environment goes to Luffy, strangely. And people may ask, why does it go to Luffy? Luffy gets the environment edge because there's no water in the forest. And there, even if there is, it's just a lake or something. So Luffy can still fight and stay away from the water. He doesn't have to worry about falling into the ocean and losing, the fight because of Devil Fruit powers. Devil Fruit users can't swim, but in the forest there's no water, so he has that edge. But because of that, I tallied up the points and shit, and Luffy had 6 points, 6 to 11, and or yeah, Luffy had 6 to 11, and Naruto had 5 to 11. Naruto won 5 under those, attributes, and then Luffy won 6. So Luffy wins in the forest against Naruto, 3-tail form. It's a hard fought battle though. I'll say that's a extreme diff for Luffy, but Luffy still wins. And so I have to go to the next verse. This is the other scenario. So this is when we go into Luffy's area. So the area they're fighting at is Enies Lobby. Enies Lobby is surrounded by water. Um, So, I took that into account for later things. Um, so the strength here, it goes to Luffy because he's the one trying to, protect something in this situation, what he has. So he's trying to protect Nico Robin. That is his, not his navigator, it's his archaeologist. He needs to get to her. Naruto's in the way because he's working for CP-9 to keep Luffy away from her. But Luffy needs to get to her. That is his, crewmate. He ain't gonna let nothing happen to her. He needs her. So the strength goes to Luffy there, because he's fighting for something he has. Naruto is just, following some orders. Even if he's in a more, aggressive like state, he didn't call somebody off in this situation. So speed goes to Luffy as well, because he's trying to get past Naruto, hit Naruto fast, knock him out as quick as fucking possible to get to Robin. Then the endurance battle goes also to Luffy. Luffy will, if he has to fight long, and he will have to fight long against Naruto in this state, he'll stick around for that. He's gonna last. He's sticking around for that fight. He likes to play the long game and shit and see what Naruto has in store for him. Durability still goes to Naruto though. Naruto has the cloak of Kurama guarding him like in the other scenario, and it's no different in this scenario. But the intelligence goes to Luffy again. Luffy is still, there. He's like trying to get past Naruto to get to Robin to get the fuck out of there. That's what he's doing, and that's what it is. Naruto's more, out of, sorts. He's like, hearing other things. He's fucking, there. Luffy's there. I was told to go after Luffy. I don't even care though. I'll even attack the people who told me to go after Luffy. That's how Naruto's mind works in this form, y'all. He ain't there. He'll attack the people who sent him after Luffy. So Luffy's actually smarter in this situation. But experience goes to Luffy as well. Like I said before, Luffy had more battles and he won more battles up until this point. And Naruto was still, learning some things, even at that point in the series when he had all that. Close skills go to Luffy again. Luffy is a more hands fighter than Naruto. Um, that goes to him. Range skills still go to Naruto though. Naruto's still shooting air blasts, and heating calls to chakra blasts, and even popping off a Rasengan if he can get his fucking mind right in that state. Then the Recupe goes to Naruto, of course, because he has Kurama still. That still doesn't change from the last thing. So he gets regen from the Nine Tails chakra. If not, Luffy hits him, with some weaker attacks. It's not going to do as much. But the hacks go to Naruto still too, because Naruto has another entity inside of him, a demon inside of him that gives him energy to fight. Now, that is time limit. There's a time limit there. Luffy has a time limit on his hacks too, with Gear Second and Gear Third, but he has Gear Second and Gear Third, is what I accounted for. But Naruto does have the advantage as far as the environment goes in this situation, because he can knock Luffy into the water. That's a factor for Naruto to win. Naruto can win if he knocks Luffy into the water. Luffy is likely to lose because of that. But remember how I said at the beginning of this scenario, Luffy's stronger in this scenario. Luffy's stronger in this scenario because um, he's trying to protect something he has, which is Robin. In the other scenario, Naruto was stronger. But just like the other way, Luffy wins. This one will be harder fought still, um, and even harder than Rob Lucci versus Luffy was. But Luffy would still win because Naruto, and it's the intelligence part. It's the experience. It's everything he has over Naruto. Naruto does have that one factor, but it's still not enough. That's Luffy, y'all. He had that factor against Rob Lucci too. He could have fell in the water against Rob Lucci. He never did. He stood his ground and he did what he had to do to fucking win that fight. So Luffy wins that scenario too. So basically, CP-9 Luffy is beating Naruto, Three Tails Naruto in the cross versus battle. I'll make another cross versus battle with a whole bunch of other anime characters. I'll have other forms of Naruto versus Luffy later on, but that's how that goes down. So Luffy wins both scenarios. I'll say extreme diff for both scenarios, and it's not easy, but Luffy still wins. Stay cool on the corner. Naruto fans didn't like that, but it's still cool. One day Naruto will win one of these fights. Believe that. That's what Naruto said. But stay cool on the corner.